You can. How are you, Dominique?
Hi, Valdis. Very nice to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. After many years, we've not.
In Paris, in New Delhi, everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. But welcome to the YaarAnād Virtual Baithak Series. I'm so glad that we could join. I mean, we could be in conversation today. And thank you, and also Gilmet for accepting my request, because I'm going to steal you for quite some time today.
Thank you for the invitation.
No, it's my pleasure. And of course, the format of these conversations is it's almost like a master class. It is not just about hearing, as I tell everybody, that you can go to the YouTube channels or Spotify or iTunes or buy the publications of the maestros that I am in conversation with. But in these Baithak series, the idea is about conversing. It's being introduced to the soul behind the whole show, to the person, the perspective, the learning, the pedagogy, and the understanding that has been gained over years and years or decades long hard work. Time spent in sort of learning, in understanding, and of course performing. So the format, of course, is different. It's not just about listening to you. We will listen to you, but we will also be plugging in. We'll be plugging into you, the player, not just what you're playing. So I hope that's a deal.
Hi. That's a deal.
That's a deal. So tell me about the instrument that you have today playing for us.
This is a very, very nice instrument, very old instrument, about more than 250 years. This Italian instrument, because Italy is so great for instruments, for everything, for music, but also for instrument, because the great period for building instrument was in the 18th century.
Yeah,
and
1700s, yeah.
From the 18th century, it's Galliano from Napoli. Very nice piece. It looks like quite new, but it's 250 years. Because no breaks, nothing happened.
Yeah.
It's a very nice piece, Galliano, 1754, yes. It's always the cello has two woods. I don't know the name. How to call this one is.
I know. Yes. And then the spruce. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is pine here.
Yes.
And this and the head also the same wood from this one. It's very interesting instrument, and like gold,
Yes.
Nice.
I remember.
I'm very happy, to be able to play on this instrument for many, many years. But the musicians are not the owners of this instrument, even if it's mine. But I'm just one living after another.
Yes.
One will go away for a long life, much more longer than mine.
More, yes.
So it's a great pleasure, and I know I'm very happy to be in peace with this instrument during 10, 20, 30 years.
Yeah. Indeed. And the bow, you have a very special bow also. It's, I think, from 1825, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
it's nearly 195 years old.
Yes.
I'm only 50 out of them.
Yes. For instruments, the Italian period is very important in the 18th century. But for bows,
bow is in Paris, yes.
In France, yes. France is a great period with very good bow and the first bows. After, everyone tries to make something. But the first big century is from France in the 19th century. This is François-Xavier Tourte. Tourte is a very known bow works, who make bows.
Yeah. You remember we went to Raffin's place and his daughter when I made the violin, a copy of Stradivari for one of my last mentor, Maharaj Thakur Singh, and you heard the violin, and also Philippe, your friend who was the first soloist with the Paris Philharmonic Orchestra, and he played it at the Paris Conservatory, and I videoed it to hear how it sounds. And it was the great bow maker Raffin's place we went to show the violin if it's good enough. And I was like shocked to see bows that were costing $150,000, $300,000, $80,000, and it was quite an experience. Actually, that was in, I think, 2001, after September 11, when I made it in the January of 2001, and it was quite something. And the tradition of bow making in Paris is legendary. It's extraordinary work. The kind of aesthetics, the kind of decisions they made. 62 grams, it's okay. 63 grams is heavy. 1 gram makes it heavier.
Yes, half a gram, yes.
Half a gram is heavy, isn't it?
It's very important to
yeah. Yeah.
To be like this, Here, this is special. Just, I don't know if you see, but...
Yeah, we can see. Everybody can see.
The middle of the bow is here. We could see the middle is here because this is, the same. No, the middle is here. So, because this is equilibrium.
Yes.
So, I play at the middle here. Which is not the same understanding of everything. So, it's not the middle of centimeters, of inches. It's not the middle of inches. It's the middle to be equilibrium, to be on good zen, to good mood. Yeah.
That's brilliant. Show us, before I am very, I'm sort of, I don't follow set patterns. I will maybe start introducing you later. We are already conversing, and because the purpose is a conversation, not introduction. Introductions can be had. They can read about you. I've also posted it. But of course, the videos have a longer life than even the written text. So I will share things. I will read out your brief. But tell me, for example, you mentioned about the instrument, the bow. Can you show us something when you're testing an instrument, testing the bow, or practicing? Can you show us like a few minutes of you just with the instrument, without anything, without Bach, without Vivaldi's or others, just you, the instrument and the bow? How do you do?
When I take the cello for the first moment of the day, every day, because this is every day, I take my cello. So I need to hear the tune, intonation. Intonation is very important. So I can and it's good for the breath also. Intonation is not only to be on tune, it's just to breathe well, to be, to get the breath with the instrument. So it's very important just to hear. Very low. Only this is good for the morning, just when I take my cello and I breathe with the cello.
Continue. This is precious. Just continue.
Okay. Open strings are very important because this is a real sound. I often go outside to play and everywhere, around the world, but sometimes in a very special place we can talk about after. But sometimes the wind is coming on my cello, the wind. We have here in Paris, we have a lot of wind today. It's windy. And the open string, you can hear the open string naturally because the wind is coming in the strings. And this is what I try to get when I play my cello every day. This is natural sounds. This is very natural with harmonics, just sound. After, you know, for classical music, we have to think, to work, to know exactly the quality of the sound, the vibrato, and. But this is intellectual sound, a little somewhere. But before, you need the natural sound at the beginning of the day. Phew, I try, yeah.
Beautiful.
Then after you take, you try to play some Bach, for sure. At the beginning, you always Bach. But before Bach, you need to be to warm up, because the muscles. You cannot just play, you know, like someone is running. If he runs too fast, he will be out.
Cramps, yeah.
It will be finished after 10 minutes. So it's the same for instrument, because this is very like a sport, because we need muscles, we need to warm up everything. So you have to take time. It's not so far. And with the oldness, it comes from more quiet. You need quiet, you need time. Yes, you need to be in harmony with your instrument, with your breath, with your body, and after a few notes, you can play Bach, for example, Sarabande. You can play whatever, or repertoire for cello.
And how about this is, of course, the breadth, the stretch of the bow, and of course, you know, being a luthier, also a string player, and someone who plays long bows like the taus, the peacock-shaped instrument that you have seen that I have revived. The idea of breadth, you know, that from edge to edge, the bow, it has to be constant. It has to be one sound, like a one thread. That is, of course, the length of the breath. But then we start cutting it. We come to half bow, quarter bow, 1/8 of a bow, 1/16 of the bow, in terms of speed, the way we build the speed.
Yes.
How do you practice every day from the slow, like the full stretch of the bow, slow breath, like the inhale and then the exhale of the bow? And what about the pace? How do you develop practicing every day in terms of speed? Can you show us some of those patterns as well? Or do you play within part of the compositions, or you have certain exercises? I know you're a senior. Do you still go back to the basics every day or every now and then, or it's just compositions? Would be my associated question or related question.
Yeah, you know, we have two hands. We have two hands.
I thought you had three.
And so this one for the instrument and one for the bow. And the one from the bow, because the bow is very little, so we think it's not so important. But it's more than a half for the cello. It's very important. The bow is very important, and we need to practice very much this, because this is difficult to understand. Not just to hear what you want to say, but not with no authority, with no, you know, we cannot want something. It's just music who has to be listened to. It's very important. So, for example, if you try just a note with when you begin instruments, you know, someone would just try to make something with strongness, and it's impossible, because for the good sound you don't need strongness, but you need velocity, speed. How do you say? You need to go slow and fast and slow in one bow. You can't. Maybe you don't see exactly, but I do that. It's very slow, and after.
Yes.
So yeah, always it's not, you know, like I said, it's not half middle like this exactly.
Yes.
It's in, you know, 3-4 inches, 4 inches. No, it's middle is here, and so I need to go from this place to this place, you know, which is much longer, in the same with the same same
velocity,
second.
same space.
Yeah.
In the same time. In the same time. Yes.
So my bow is never the same, and this is very important. If you begin the instrument, it's very difficult to understand. But after years and years, everything is going like this. Never the same velocity. Never.
Also, I think it's important what I was mentioning about the length that is used for different, different times. You need to use the different lengths varied lengths of the bow. But then you're talking about the velocity, the speed, how it changes from slow to fast. Then the third element is the weight. How much weight, there's a 3 dimensions. The third dimension is also the weight on how much weight you're employing or softness that you're doing. So these are 3-pronged aspects. You were mentioning about the second. And of course, my query was to do with the first one initially, yes. Can we have a look at can you show us different bowing techniques, if you may?
Yes, because if I play just...
yes. It's not that, yes. The side, yes. Tilted bow, yeah.
Yes. I remember what was saying one of my great teacher, because I was working with Rostropovich, this great cellist, and he was talking about exactly this. He said, you have to find the poids, the length.
The taut, yes.
Yeah, le poids, how heavy it
is. The tension. Yeah.
Yes, the tension only in the bow, never in the strongness of your body. It's only the bow. You have to find it again. So just here, it's only the bow, like this. I have no pressure, and this is what I have to do with my, with always my way of playing. It's very important, because if like this is not good, you cannot talk, because we are like singers. We just have to sing naturally. And also Pablo Casals, who is great cellist, he said, all my life I tried to begin again, to be again a little child, because I have to sing naturally like a little child. This is all my life. And he was 80 years old, he was very, very old, and said, but I tried to sing like a little child, because this is
beautiful.
Maybe this is difficult to hear with micro, it's a technique.
No, it's audible. It's audible.
Okay,
we can see the difference. Yeah.
You never know, but it's. I think you can hear. Like it's soft but strong also. It's not enough only soft. It's not only kind. No, it can be hard but not strong like authority, like dictator. No, never in music.
Yes, that's fantastic. Can you show some of your exercises, that you do, some of the patterns?
I talked about right hand, maybe I can talk with left hand. Left hand, we play, for example, pizzicato, and I think we have
fantastic.
It's like onomatope. You understand? An onomatope in English? It's it's a bow, but so it's not like.
Fantastic. That was brilliant. And when you find an instrument, I know that there is a way you check the A to Z of the instrument, the sound. Let's imagine that this 200 80-year-old instrument in your hands from 1754. It'll be 300 years in 2054. We are only 32 years less than that. So just imagine that this is the first time you're holding this instrument in your hands, and you are to test it, how it sounds. So can you test the instrument, how the first things that you would do to look at the instrument of how it sounds?
I remember.
Just imagine it's the first time. It's just the moment you first touch this instrument, right? When you got it in your hands. Just take us to that moment, what you did with it.
I can tell you how I met this instrument, which is exactly what you say, because it was in 2000. 2000. In 2000 it was exactly in 2000, 20 years ago. And I was looking after an instrument, from 20 years before. I wanted to find some instrument, good instrument, and it was very difficult. And every time I said, okay, this one is okay, but no, maybe not. And one time I found one in Amsterdam, and I showed it to Rostropovich, my teacher, and I said, no, this instrument is not for you. You shouldn't choose this one. No, you have to wait. You are too young. Please wait. You will see. I was looking after many instruments, and I couldn't find anyone. And on 2000, I went to the violin maker, Etienne Vatelot, Jean-Jacques Rampal in Paris, and who are very famous, to find good instruments like this one. And I saw this one, exactly, Galliano. And, it was in a box. It was in a box, a cello box, and I took the cello and I did like this. And I said, here's my instrument. I take it. I didn't play with bow. I just did it thus. This is the sound I'm looking after for so many years. 20 years, this is the one, I'm sure. But he said, but you don't know, you didn't play your bow, and you don't know the price. But it's okay, I don't worry. I want this one. This is, and okay. So after a few, I take it to my house, I could play. And after weeks, I said, yes, I want this one. This is the only instrument I want to choose for all my life. Just pizzicato. This is some special sound you want to hear. When, like you choose, or you meet someone, he is or she is the one, This is the same thing. In French, we say coup de foudre. Coup de foudre. I don't know the name in English, but this is mine. I know. I want this. Please. Voilà. This is the story of our meeting.
And the bow. How did you find this bow? And what was the story about the bow?
Oh, it's longer. I like very much bows, so I have a collection with bows and many bows, and I'm looking after many everywhere. When I can find some violin makers, I like it. Even modern bows and even ancient bows I like it. I try to go and find how it's possible.
Uh-huh. And what was the first thing you played on this instrument? The one that you really thought you would get to know?
At this time, I played maybe my pieces because I am a composer. Also, I like because of all of my travel. I travel a lot in many countries, and sometimes I come back from some country and I compose music from this place, and so I compose I composed music, so I played it at this time. Yes, it was maybe the first thing I did on the cello. Yes, yes, and also improvisation, because I like just to play. You know, it's.
Can we have you improvise now? Like, for example, on the mood at the moment today, like just now. Free,
yes,
just
improvisation.
Improvisation.
You know what? I just because I need a theme. You know, I need a theme. I need notes. I can use your name.
Okay.
Baldeep. Okay.
Yes.
Because Baldeep is B. B is Si bemol in French. Because you know English is B, but in French it's Si bemol. So this. And A is La. L is La. D is Re. Re, two E. P is maybe pausa. Let's say pausa. I don't have
Okay, pausa. Yes, it's pausa. Yeah. Okay.
Fine. I'm just, it's, alors, see. Yes.
Fantastic. And that was just my name.
Did you recognize your name?
I do. I actually now get to know my name better. I hadn't an idea my name meant so well.
Okay.
You now finally you've now succeeded in making me thank my sister for giving me this name. Finally, after 50 years, I'll get to thank my sister.
After years,
she's my half mother.
I am your messenger.
Yes, you must be her messenger. She coaxed you to. She made you coax me in thanking her for the name. That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
This is a powerful of music, because with notes, which is a language, but not with words, I can explain much more than with words.
Yeah.
Just Baldeep for me today was like
Yes.
this music.
Tomorrow it will be another Baldeep. Yes. So Dominique, let me do. Yes, go ahead. Say. Finish your sentence. Yeah.
No, it's so after when you said, what do you do every day? First, I hear the song. After I warm up. After I play some Bach. Maybe I go to improvisation, to composition. So improvisation and composition then. And after I play also, for the concerts, because I have to play classical music. And the cello, maybe it's difficult to explain today with the only cello, because we need every time to play with piano, with instruments, violin, with orchestra, with, when I play many times with other persons, so it's difficult. But I can maybe show you some music, from the repertoire.
Yes. Yes, that would be fantastic.
So, for example, what could I just recorded 1 month before, now it's very difficult world because of the pandemic situation. But just before I went to record in Bulgaria, it was in Bulgaria, in Sofia, with the great orchestra of Sofia, and I recorded pieces from, for example, Prior from Ernest Bloch. Maybe I can play this. But this is a piece with no accompaniment. It's just I played solo harmonies with orchestra. I'm the soloist, and they play with me.
I'm sure it'll be once its publication is out, all our friends who are listening and who will tune in later would get to hear the whole as well. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Choir.
Wow.
In prière.
When is the publication out?
Sorry?
When is it coming? When does it get published?
At the end of the year.
At the end of the year. I really look forward. I mean, it'll be fantastic to hear. Well, I'm going to ask you to send me a preview anyway before you even publish it. I am now curious. I have to hear what your friends in Sofia did along with you. I really look forward to having a preview of that. So that's wonderful. Now I'll take 3-4 minutes to introduce you formally. That's how it is. We start, we shoot first and ask later. We start playing music and talking about music, and then we get to the formalities, right? That's improvisation too. So I'm going to improvise and then share some of your contributions, etc. So friends, this is my very, very dear friend, Dominique de Williencourt. And I know, he's employed as a husband to a wonderful, wonderful sculptor, Guillemette. You can see the sculpture on that side. And Guillemette is behind the camera. Guillemette, can you say hello?
Yes. This sculpting, actually, she's making another sculpture in another piece.
Oh, she is? Oh, wow. That's amazing. And so he, as you've heard already, he plays the cello. And as you've seen, that he's a composer, and he is a maestro in improvisation as well. And I remember when the times we used to spend together playing music, me on the Jodi Pakhavaj and sometimes singing together, and he was very, very enamored by the idea of the gamaka. So he was always, very curious about how does that flow. So he's like just hears it and he gets it. He's that brilliant. Jean-Luc Machia, from writing for the Diapason, wrote about him, and I quote, "Refined and cultured virtuoso, Dominique de Williencourt impresses in concert by his probity, the silky tones of his cello, and the elegance of his playing." Michel Lanour, for writing for Le Monde de la Musique, one of the he writes another very beautiful. He says that he has reached a perfect maturity. Dominique, somebody called you matured, huh? That's good news. Okay, I should stop improvising and stick to the copybook. Javier Rey, for writing for the Classica, writes that I have been completely immersed in this ardent meditation. This is great art. Francois Wilkin, composer, writes a clear and precise articulation and intonation without flaw, phrasings of high nobleness, and a sparkling and limpid tone. This was Javier. I misread the name earlier. Dominique has been advised by Zino Francescatti, a disciple of André Navarra, Philippe Muller, Marcel, Bardon, and Mstislav Rostropovich, who's one of my favorites along with Pablo Casals. Dominique de Williencourt has been invited to perform in more than 40 countries, including Austria, Colombia, South Korea, Romania, Russia, the US, and in places as prestigious as Como, Finland, and more recently, Vilnius, Lithuania, and Sofia in Bulgaria, which he was mentioning about, Yokohama and Kyoto, Japan. He's been to Brazil and China, where he's now a professor of honor. He was invited by maestro Valentin Berlinsky of the Borodin Quartet to play the Moscow Philarmony and to sit on the jury of Shostakovich International String Quartet competition in Moscow. In 2015, he was invited to the Kyoto Kansai Academy in Japan and participated in the Milwaukee Festival in the US with the Fine Arts Quartet. A concert of his own compositions with orchestra has also been organized in Vilnius in Lithuania. In 2016, he started with a great 3-week-long tour in the United States. He's had works written for him by Bacri, Chaubuks, and several composers, and takes part in the creation. He travels in the Sahara, the Yemen, the Caucasus, and the photo, in fact, which was used in the poster, is from the desert. He has composed more than 25 pieces with evocative titles. The Vexin Festival commissioned him a concerto for cello and string orchestra, Opus 16 EMTO, and it was created in 2012, in the month of October. A documentary on his exploration of silence whilst traveling with cello through the desert of the world was produced for the Mezzo channel. The first monograph CD, EA0610/1 of his compositions has been produced, as well as a DVD, Bach in the Desert, which presents him traveling in the heart of the Sahara. It was beautiful, I think, for the whole family, the Williencourt family, when he was awarded the Grand Prix de l'Académie du Disque. He recorded Haydn concertos and Bach cello suites and with the pianist Emil Nomouf after a concert at a full theatre, de Champs-Élysées. And he's also participated in the DVD on Oliver Griff, which obtained a Diapason d'Or in June 2013, and so on and so forth. I mean, he's done a lot of compositions and publications. He's been the president of the Society Pour que l'esprit vive, Let the Spirit Live, from 2006 to 2015. He started up with the residence program, which was supported by the Académie de Beaux-Arts in Paris, and Rencontres Musicales, did I say that right? In the Abbey de la Prix in the region with Nicolas Bacri. He's been the artistic director of YaarAnād, a music production company. He's been organizing since 1994 musical cruises, WILLIENCOURT-CROISIRAMA, with great artists from Lord Menuhin to Yuri Bashmet. He has taught he's been teaching at Conservatoire Supérieur of Paris, CRR, and has been made a Chevalier de l'Ordre National du Mérite. He's the Knight of the National Order of Merit. He created in 2009 with Jean Ferrandis the Ensemble Edgédé. Did I say that right, Dominique? A string orchestra. He's been inspired. He inspired the book by Jacqueline de Robili de la Flûte et la Lyre, from the flute to the lyre. The instrument maker Jean Bord dedicated to him the cello La Nuit Transfigurée. A painted sculpture of a cello by Belgian sculptor José Chapelier was dedicated to him in 2006. He participated in Claude Sautet's film Un Cours, Un Hiver. And since 2000, he's been playing an exceptional cello, which we've seen by Galliano, who was made in 1754, and using a bow made by Torte, who was in 1825. So, दोस्तों, I'll just share a summary in Punjabi. दोस्तों, मेरे बड़े ही पुराने और बहुत ही जिगरी दोस्त ਡੋਮਿਨਿਕ ਦ ਵਿਲੀਅਨਕੋਰ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਅੱਜ ਰੂਬਰੂ ਕਰਾ ਰਿਹਾ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਰੂਬਰੂ ਕਰਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ, ਔਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ, ਔਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਮੇਰੀ ਲੰਬੀ ਵਾਰਤਾ ਹੈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ। ਅਸੀਂ ਰੱਜ ਕੇ ਸੰਗੀਤ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਛਕਿਆ ਅਤੇ ਛਕਾਇਆ, ਅਤੇ 20-22 ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ 24 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਾਡਾ ਯਾਰਾਨਾ ਹੈਗਾ। ਔਰ ਇਹ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਬੜੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਚੈਲੋ ਪਲੇਅਰਸ ਜੋ ਹਨਗੇ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੈਂ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਈ ਗੱਜ ਲਈ ਫਿਰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਜਾਂ ਮਿਜ਼ਰਾਬਾਂ ਲਈ ਫਿਰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਈ ਵਾਰ ਸਮਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਜੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਤਸੱਲੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਈ ਤਾਂ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਈ। ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਅੰਦਾਜ਼ਾ ਹੋਏਗਾ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵਿਦਵਾਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਮੈਂ ਕੰਮ ਕੀਤਾ ਅੱਜ ਤੱਕ ਉਹ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਨੇ, ਅਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਮਿਹਨਤ ਕਰਨੀ ਪੈਣੀ ਹੈ ਮੇਰੇ ਵਰਗਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਵਾਹ ਸੁਣਨ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ। ਇੱਕ ਅੱਧੀ ਤਾਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਵਜਾ ਲੈਣਾ ਮਜ਼ਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਉਹ ਸਾਜ਼ ਦੀ ਭਾਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ, ਸਾਜ਼ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ। ਗੱਜ ਮਾੜਾ ਮੋਟਾ ਘੀਂਗੀ ਕਰ ਲੈਣਾ ਉਹ ਕੰਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ। ਇਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਿਦਵਤਾ, ਬਹੁਤ ਚਿੰਤਨ ਔਰ ਸਿਆਣਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਹੱਥ। ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਿਆਣੇ ਬਣੋਗੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਜ਼ ਬਦਲ ਜਾਣਗੇ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਜ਼ ਦੀ ਚੋਣ ਬਦਲ ਜਾਏਗੀ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਭੁੱਲ ਜਾਏਗਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਹਿਰੂਪੀ ਸਾਜ਼ ਚੱਕੀ ਫਿਰਦੇ ਹੋ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲੱਭਣ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਓਗੇ ਕਿ ਕੌਣ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਜ਼ ਬਣਾਉਣਾ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਨੇ। ਇਹ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਰੂਬਰੂ ਜੋ ਕਰਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਇਸ ਵਿਦਵਾਨ ਪੁਰਖ ਨੂੰ, ਉਹਦਾ ਮਕਸਦ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਾਣੋ ਕਿ ਸਾਜ਼ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕੀ ਹੈ, ਸਾਜ਼ ਦੀ ਅਹਿਮੀਅਤ ਕੀ ਹੈ, ਸਾਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਵਜਾਉਣਾ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਕਿਸ ਕਿਸਮ ਦੀ ਕਾਬਲੀਅਤ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਡੋਮਿਨਿਕ ਦ ਵਿਲੀਅਨਕੋਰ ਫਰਾਂਸ ਦੇ ਰਹਿਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਨੇ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਪਿੰਡ ਹੈਗਾ ਛੋਟਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਸਵਿਜ਼ੀ ਕਰਕੇ, ਉੱਥੇ ਫੌਂਟੇਨਬਲੂ ਦੇ ਲਾਗੇ। ਅਤੇ ਅੱਜ today you're in Paris, is it, Dominique, or you're in Soissy?
I'm near Paris, yes. Soissy is near Paris, yes. Yeah,
Soissy is, in Fontainebleau. You're in the farmhouse, yeah, where Gilmet also has a studio, is it? Yeah, that place. So ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਇਹ 8-8 10-10 ਘੰਟੇ ਰੋਜ਼ ਦਾ ਰਿਆਜ਼ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਮਿਹਨਤਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਔਰ ਕਾਮਯਾਬੀਆਂ ਐਵੇਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਂਦੀਆਂ। ਵੱਡੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਉਸਤਾਦਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਸਿੱਖੇ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ, ਖਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਰੋਸਟੋਪੋਵਿਚ ਔਰ ਮੇਰੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਪਸੰਦੀਦਾ ਹਨਗੇ, ਮੈਂ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਇੱਜ਼ਤ ਕਰਦਾ, ਪਬਲੋ ਕਾਸਾਲਸ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਸੰਵਾਦ ਰਿਹਾ। ਔਰ ਇਹ ਸਾਜ਼ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸਿੱਖਣਾ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਾੜਾ ਮੋਟਾ ਘੀਂਕੀ ਮਾਰਨੀ ਸਿੱਖ ਲਈ ਅਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੋਚੋ ਕਿ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਨੂੰ 2-4 ਧੌਲੇ ਆ ਗਏ ਅਤੇ ਉਸਤਾਦ ਕਹਾਉਣ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਓ, ਪੰਡਤ ਕਹਾਉਣ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਓ। ਇਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੇ ਵਿਦਵਾਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕਦਮਾਂ 'ਚ ਬਹਿਣਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਸਮਝਣਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ, ਤਾਂ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਜ਼ ਦੀ ਤਵਾਰੀਖ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਦੀ ਹੈ, ਮਿਲਦੀ ਹੈ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਖੋ ਅਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਆਸ ਹੈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਫਿਰ ਦੇਖੋਗੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਨੈਰੇਟਿਵ ਹਨਗੇ, ਕਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਕਹਾਣੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਗੁੰਮ ਹਨਗੀਆਂ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਭਾਲਣਾ ਪਏਗਾ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿਦਵਾਨਾਂ 'ਚ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਗਿਣਤੀ ਕਰਾਉਣੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਖਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਮੁਖਾਤਬ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਜ਼ਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਜੰਤਰੀ ਬਣਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਕਿ ਜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਵਰਗਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਤਸੱਲੀ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ, ਸਾਡੇ ਵਰਗਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਹਾਮੀ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ, ਸਾਡੇ ਵਰਗਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਵਾਹ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ, ਅਤੇ ਮਿਹਨਤਾਂ ਦੇ ਪਹਾੜ ਚੜ੍ਹਨੇ ਪੈਣਗੇ, ਬਗੈਰ ਨੋਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਿਖਰ ਛੋਹਣੇ ਪੈਣਗੇ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਬਗੈਰ ਜੋੜਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਅੱਗਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੋਂ ਤੁਰ ਕੇ ਜਾਣਾ ਪਏਗਾ, ਕੰਢਿਆਂ 'ਤੇ ਤੁਰਨਾ ਪਏਗਾ। ਸੋ ਇਹ ਖੰਡਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਧਾਰਾ ਨੇ ਦੋਸਤੋ, ਇਹ ਰੱਬ ਇਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦਾ। ਕੋਈ ਗਾਵੈ ਰਾਗੀ ਨਾਦੀ ਬੇਦੀ ਬਹੁ ਭਾਂਤੀ ਕਰ ਨਹੀਂ, ਹਰ ਹਰ ਪੀਜੈ ਰਾਮ ਰਾਜੇ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਅੰਤਰ ਕਪਟ ਵਿਕਾਰ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਨਾ ਰੋਏ ਕਿਆ ਕੀਜੈ। ਸੋ ਮੈਂ ਮੋਟੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਦਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ, ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਦੱਸਿਆ, ਮੈਂ ਹੋਰ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ 'ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੜ੍ਹਨਾ। ਵੱਡੇ ਵਿਦਵਾਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੰਮ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਕੰਮ ਬੜੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਨੇ। ਅੰਗਰੇਜ਼ੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਮੈਂ CV ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਪੋਸਟ ਹੋਏਗੀ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਹੋਏਗੀ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੁਹਰਾਉਣ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ। ਉਹ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਰਸਮੀ ਤੌਰ 'ਤੇ ਅੰਗਰੇਜ਼ੀ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਬਰੀਫ ਪੜ੍ਹ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੈਗਾ। ਅਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਇਹ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਅੰਗਰੇਜ਼ੀ 'ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਹੀਆਂ ਸੀ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਖਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਜ਼ਿਕਰ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਚਸ਼ਮੇ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਦੇਖਣ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ, ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਦੇ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਆਸ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖੋਗੇ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਸਿੱਖੋਗੇ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਸੰਗੀਤ ਸਿੱਖਣ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਿਹਨਤਾਂ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਚੱਜ ਜਨੂਨ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਉਹ ਲਗਨ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਬੁਖਾਰ ਨਹੀਂ, ਮੌਸਮੀ ਬੁਖਾਰ ਦਾ ਨਾਂ ਸਾਜ਼ ਚੱਕਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ। ਸੋ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਬੜੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਵਿਦਵਾਨ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹਨਗੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਰੂਬਰੂ ਕਰਾ ਰਿਹਾ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਆਸ ਹੈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਨੰਦ ਵੀ ਮਾਣੋਗੇ ਔਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸ਼ਿਰਕਤ ਵੀ ਪਾਓਗੇ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਕਮੈਂਟਸ ਲਿਖੋ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰੋ। ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੋਣਗੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ, ਸਵਾਲ ਹੋਣਗੇ, ਉਹ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਅੱਜ ਨਹੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਵੀ ਸਾਂਝੇ ਕਰਾਂਗਾ ਅਤੇ ਜਵਾਬ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤਾਈਂ ਪੁੱਜਦਾ ਹੋਣਗੇ। Sorry, Dominique, I had to speak also beyond your CV. I just gave a very brief summary. But I was also telling, because back in India, you know that I've been busy with the revival of instruments. I've revived instruments that had died, that had become extinct. But since we met in the 90s, later 90s, the problem has been that now just about everybody's making instruments. Those who do not even know how to make them are making instruments. Those who've never learned are also now becoming established teachers. And imagine how far the story has gone in terms of being spoiled, in terms of innocent students being misled. So I was basically telling them, look at what is it to choose an instrument? What is it to look for an instrument? What is it to practice? What is it to earn an instrument? And what is it to do? The kind of etiquette that is required. People are playing on one string and now they're pretending to be maestros in India, So it's a very sad story, and I was addressing that, basically telling them, I was basically giving them the glasses with which they need to see our conversation today, and the ears with which they need to hear our conversation. So my apologies for a little longish conversation in Punjabi.
Very interesting. I hear the voice, the language that I like very much. It is like music.
I appreciate that. Yes, in fact, French and Italian, they share the roots with Latin and Sanskrit and Punjabi. There are several sounds which are familiar, like tu is tu for us, and so many others. But of course, there are regional dialects.
And the music also, because if you remember when you went here in my house near Paris, we played together. But you are a specialist of Indian music from the 18th century, and you were playing
5 centuries.
I remember you were playing tabla with me. I was
Jodi Pakhav is the ancestor of tabla. Yeah.
Yes, sorry. Yes. And you had these rhythms which were exactly the same as mine, but Bach didn't know this music at the 18th century. So we were playing together. I was playing this bourrée. And you were making percussion.
And then
we played just like if we just played for many years together, but no, it was the first time. And it worked. Even if you are from India at the 18th century and here Bach from Germany at the 18th century, so they didn't know art, but now we can understand they had the same feeling of art.
Yes. Yeah. And in the first part, I think it was suite number 3 for cello. But then the first part, there was one which was going 12 beats, and I was playing dha, donge, na, tre, ta. And slow tempo, you're going perfect 12s. It was like mind-boggling. In fact, when I discovered you were in my living room in Delhi, when you played that piece, and I said, "Oh, wait a minute, what are you doing?" And he said, "Well, I'm playing Bach." I said, No. Can you do it again?" And I picked up the Jodi. I started playing, and we both had shocked each other at that moment. And then, of course, we did the work. Why don't you play the suite number 3? It's fantastic from the 6 parts of that to Jige, starting with Gron. Can you play for us?
Yes. It's a great moment. I remember when we played together this. So let's imagine you play also with me.
That was very nostalgic. I remember it.
Yeah. I could hear you playing just now because you were moving and dancing with me.
Yeah.
I had this in my ear.
I remember, I think Gulmet was, I can share that anecdote with my friends. You know, I was playing, Dominique had an appointment on the phone and he went, we were practicing for many hours and he had a Java, there was a dog they had and not at all friendly with me. And he went from there and I was still sitting down under the stairs where the sculpture is, I think I was sitting there. And I went on playing a certain pattern, which I will not share publicly because it was a very particular pattern which has an impact on animals. And I was playing, I was in a little form also those days, and the drum was sounding beautiful, the breath was brilliant. And I started playing the pattern. And suddenly, Java from the other room walked.
A big dog,
a big dog. Big dog came to me and I said, oh, you know, she always looks at me and barks from far and, you know, she's not happy. And she was wagging her tail and mesmerized and comes near me. When she came a little close to me, I stopped. So not afraid, just stopped. I said, oh, just wondering, what is she doing? But I knew that she was under a spell. So the moment I stopped, she woke up and she said, oh, where the heck am I? And she immediately shied away, walked quickly, reached the door, and I started playing again, and she froze. And I started playing again, and she froze and looked, started wagging her tail. And he came, mesmerized, like that. And then she came and touched herself, rubbed on me. And then I stopped again. And then she also woke up again. I said, where the heck am I? So she turned, almost ran away. And the moment she was about to go out of the huge hall, I started playing again. This time I did not stop. She came back and put her head on my lap. And I went on playing. And Gilmet said, wow, you've become her master. You know how I know? Because the camera was on. And Gilmet's voice is also included. It's all recorded. It was a beautiful time. We spent so many days working on the suite number 3 of Bach. But can you? This was I think Gigue. Was that Gigue that you were playing, or which was this part? I'm trying to recall. I'm not very versed with the Western music as such. I have good ear, but I don't remember names. But can you for our not just for the listeners, but also for the students, to inspire them and to give them an idea of the construct of Bach. Can we extend this analogy, use this Bach suite number 3 as a specimen? Can you tell us about the 6 parts? I mean, this whole piece is from prelude to the last one. There are 6 parts. And would it be possible for you to use this as a specimen to show the Indian ear how the idea of construction of a suite actually was done by this extraordinary maestro, John Sebastian Bach.
Sebastian Bach, yes. He composed 6 suites, 6 different suites of 6 movements, yes. But he composed and just for cello, and it was very new because the cello was not very popular at this time.
Yes.
At this time, it was a viol de gambe.
Viola da gamba, yeah.
Very different. It's a viola da gamba is like a guitar. It's a guitar with a bow. It's another. It looks like a cello. Yeah. It's not. It's very different. But it's more, I should say, aristocratic. It's more noble. The cello is more for the farmers, for the. It's not. It was a heavy bass, for orchestras, not very known at this time. And Bach said, "But no, this instrument has many things inside, but we don't know." So he wrote for us, for the cellist, these 6 suites, and each suite is a following of dances, different dances from Europe. This is the beginning of Europe, It's because the first dance is from Germany, which is called Allemande. French Allemande means Germany. And then we have Courante, which is French. Then we have Sarabande, which is from Spain. From Spain. Then we have different, it depends. We can have what we play together, Baldeep, this bourrée from France, or we can have menuets also from France. It's different from the suite, and it finished with Giga English dance. So
that's the last one. Okay, we played the bourrée together.
Yes, 5 dances from Europe, and these 5 dances are in. You can hear them like concentrated in the preludium. Preludium is the beginning of the suite. Just to say, the preludium, it's like a toccata, you have to touch the cello. Toccata means to touch.
Yes.
You touch the cello just to warm up. But to be warm up with Bach is genius. It's genial. This composer, he just want to warm up, but the music is genial. So first prelude, then what I said, Allemande, Courante, etc. This is very interesting. I should say the most important in the Bach music is always the rhythm. First thing is the rhythm, because you need the structure. The structure in Bach is very, very like a computer, maybe, but little more because it is a genius. But it's always very, very. He knows exactly about how many bars, how many notes, how many intonations, modulations, and this is the first. You need that's why when you play joli, it's very important for me because it's this percussion. You know, this is the stability of the rhythm. Then after we have this left hand with the sound, whatever, but with the melody, I mean, but whatever. But this is not the most important. Melody is not so important. Important is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Or 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. It's very important for Bach. So every dance has his own structure.
I see.
And yeah, you know, always everyone. But the difference is with prelude, because prelude is like a concentration, I said, of every dance. So you can hear everything which will be heard after, you know. It begins with prelude. It's, I think even prelude could be at the end, because this is, you know, concentration of everything. I can play, if you want, the third preludio.
Yes, it would be great. Just to give an idea of the whole suite from beginning to end, it would be great to have as a specimen now.
Yes, I just had something about the because in classical music we have how do you say modulations. We have you know, for example, the third suite is in C major. C
yes.
is C major. The first is in G major. The fifth is in C minor, which is very different. And Bach used every modulation. I don't know exactly the word in English, but modulation it was very important. For example, C major is one very young intonation. Very, very light, with much light, you know. C minor is like more spiritual, maybe. Maybe the third is especially for youngness. The first suite is, you know, everyone knows the first suite. This is water, like water.
Yes.
This source. Just the water. Always. But third is more like youngness. Okay?
Okay.
Do major. D major.
That was fantastic. That was fantastic.
Preludium in C major, number 3 from Bach.
Prelude, yeah.
Preludium, yes. Just to open, open windows, open everything, opens.
Right. And then it goes into Allemande, is it? The next.
Yes. Then this is the beginning of the suite. Allemande is the first.
Yeah.
But before Allemande, you have Prelude.
Yes.
Just to warm up.
Yeah.
Just to warm up.
But there's also storytelling. I think it's almost like building the plot in a way also.
Yeah, and that was the genius of Bach, because at this time, it was not so important. The instrument, the cello was not, it was just, making just a...
I see.
For example,
I see.
It was, the cellists were walking in the streets where we could just play like this, and, like this.
I see.
It's finished.
I see. Wow. From that to this is what Bach did.
Yeah. Yes. Well, he was not the first, because in the Italians we had many very good composers, Italian composers like Gabrielli. Many from Baroque.
Can you give examples of these players? Just like small examples.
From Vivaldi.
How did it go?
Etc. I don't know by heart. Something very nice. Very nice. And this one. Vivaldi is so nice.
Oh, and also I like the weight of the bow. It's almost like a wave after wave. That was very beautiful.
Yeah. Something like this. I don't remember.
Like build up of almost like waves. It comes and goes.
Yeah.
It flows. Very.
Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic. So coming to Bach's Suite Number 3. So you played the Prelude, then you played the Boguet.
Allemande, Courante. I play Courante. No, I played Allemande, Sarabande, Bourré. Yes, and yes.
And can you play the other parts? The Gurante.
Courante. I didn't play Courante and
those are left. So you need to play them.
Okay, maestro.
I wanted you to play in a sequence, and you're playing like an assortment. This first, that first, the night before the day before the afternoon, and so on and so forth. Anyway, there's a conversation, yeah.
Yes. Okay, so Courante. Courante, you know, Louis XIV. Yeah, Louis is the king.
The emperor, the king.
We say Le Roi Soleil, the sun king. He was called the sun king. He was excellent in courante. He liked very much to dance on the courante in Versailles, Château de Versailles, castle. I must explain one because I'm thinking. But why? Because this is like champagne. Champagne, with very light, like this. In champagne you have little, technically, how to say?
Sparkles, yeah, sparkling, yeah.
Sparkling, yeah, like sparkling, It's sparkling like this.
I see.
And it was always like this. Louis XIV liked it because it was high. Because Louis XIV cannot go down. He's going to the sun. So he had to go like sparkling water. He goes to the somewhere to the, This is like sparkling. Okay.
Wow, that was fantastic.
I try to make it sparkling, you know, like something light, very light.
Right. Quite a fantastic composition. Small patterns, and of course you were using this time the short space of the bow, as I was mentioning about how the length and then only the small part before it turns. Yes, 1/16 to 1/32 of a bow. Fantastic.
Little exercise yes. to for the pupils. Very light.
Yeah, that's what I was asking you earlier. Now you answered my question.
You need to play that before playing Bach.
I know.
This is a Duport exercise.
What other exercises are there in cello? How else you prepare your hand and?
Yeah, well, we have many things, but etc. You know, just in time, you know, very velocity.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it's lovely. Continue. Please continue.
You can have also very slow, because this is very difficult to play slowly. Etc. Duport was a great cellist from the 19th century. He was a cellist he had a very nice Stradivarius, and this Stradivarius Duport was a cello of Rostropovich.
Really?
Because, you know, these instruments like this one are very known from several years and many centuries. We know from it from where it comes. And this one is the Duport from this very good cellist.
Right. And of course, the last part of the sixth part is left of Bach.
Oh, you didn't forget.
No. I'm a tough nut. I don't crack. I'm not the tough nut to crack. I just don't crack.
This is a Giga, English.
Giga, the English Dutch. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go to England.
Yeah. to finish the suite.
Yes, that would be fantastic. Thank This is get it, get it. You remember I used to really enjoy this piece. Get it, it's fantastic. No, I love this. This is one of my favorite suites.
English, you like English people. So.
Oh no, I don't. My ancestors never shook hands with the British. The British used to tremble at the hearing of my ancestrals.
Okay.
I'm from the uncolonized India, so they never ventured into our streets.
So this is again the powerful of the music, which can make peace instead of.
But if it's beautiful, I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's not a problem to appreciate your adversary's beauty. So I can accept the gigue. It's all right.
Composed by Bach.
Oh, yes, by Bach. Yes. That's quite acceptance of diversity, isn't it? All these nations have been at war. Germany, England, India, Punjab, especially the Sikhs. Sikhs who fought for the British, Sikhs who fought with the British. So And then we have, me, you, from France. We've all such histories of war, but then of harmony, of music and of creation. I think this is a beautiful lesson for all of us as well.
Yeah, that's why we need the arts, and always, to live with our art and to make music and to make everything, sculptures and everything, and nice instruments. We need so important for our world. If not, we go to the death.
Yeah, exactly. Before I, bother you with sharing about Max Bruch and Faurin and Gabriele, what about you spoke about art? What is music for you? What can you tell us? I mean, if I was a layperson to ask you, what is music?
Music, if I want to compose, it's because I need to say something without words, but I want to say it. Sometimes you cannot say everything you can with direct words, so which the words are so understanding, but with music, you can make, you can say inside what you want to say with, not with words. And music for me is a mystery of instant, mystery of now, just now. This is because the music is not like a sculpture. A sculpture will be here in many years and centuries because this is bronze, it's very, very long. But music, no, I just play for you Giga, for example, from Bach, and now it's just finished. Because, so music is like eternity, but in this instant, it's on eternity of the instant. It's not like a painting or like a sculpture, but this is the specificity of the art of music, which is always music, but only at once, at one time, for every time. This is very, philosophically, it's very special to understand. That that's why I like music. Music is only art for nothing, because when it's finished, there's no music. And art is for nothing, because just nothing is something.
It is when it is not when it is not.
Yes, it's finished. Like
it goes, French, merges from where it comes from.
Yeah, the neum, in French we have this word, maybe in English, I don't know. Neum means, and it goes, and it's finished. Oh, no. That's so I can play. This is my art. And it goes. That's nice.
It's beautiful. Beautiful.
So, and why begin again? I don't know. Why always I need to begin again, play again, and every time, every day. Why? This is special. That's like autism. Autism, a little illness. Always in this. But this is nice.
Each day, how many hours do you still log every day?
I don't know, but it's like a breathing. Yeah, maybe maybe now I'm older, so I don't need so much to play on my cello. Before, when I was young, it was very important, maybe 5-6 hours a day. It was difficult for my family also, because it's not very easy, when you are always in your music and everything. With all my family, with my wife, it's something difficult. But anyway, I can say like autism, because it's like a drug, it's obliged. You need it. But you know that you are an artist, so you know that it's all day. And now maybe I play a little less on the cello because I compose, so I need also time to compose. I have more time for my children, my little children, because I have some little children now. So it's different. It's
Your grandchildren. You're a granddaddy.
Yeah. Yes. 7 times. Thank you. So it's a different, with the life is growing up and you can understand many things.
Yes. So, yeah, that's beautifully answered. It's the, the ability to say that which cannot be said, the ability to touch that which cannot be touched. Is where I think music allows us, or expression allows, or even silence allows us. So there are 2 types of touches that we do. That which we can actually touch and hear, then there is that which we cannot touch and we cannot hear. Then that layer where we cannot touch and we just cannot hear, but there is a feeling, there's an impact of in that being, in the being, and that impact never goes away. It remains, and everything that follows remains touched into that degree. If you've ventured into a newer depth, into a newer height, into a newer expanse, it remains. The indelible mark, that mark remains. The beautiful, it's not a stain, it is the shade now. It's a new color. It's a new, fresher color, more deeper, more meaningful.
Mm. And to hear the silence. Every day, is sometimes where you finish and you hear the silence. Beethoven, this great composer also, he said the silence is much more important. This is real silence in the music. When you hear the silence, this is music.
Do you think of something of Beethoven that you mentioned? Is there something that you remember? A line or two? How does he, like a demonstration of silence, a couple of notes even?
For example, in the sonata, cello sonata, you can play silence, many big silence, too long silence.
Yes, fantastic, fantastic. Yeah.
So you play this sonata with piano, but every time you have to wait for silence. The music is, he wants to stop the music, so you will hear more and better. You will be more attentive of the music.
Like allowing the silence to tell a story.
Yeah. Yes.
It's almost
because
like
in silence, your imagination can go somewhere. This is music.
But I think silence also is a state where the imagination is also listening, where it is just the idea of witnessing, and I think the witness also loses form, and the witnessed also loses form. It's formlessness at that moment. Is how my experience is. My attendance to silence is that, where actually sometimes I'm in a space where when I come back out of a space of silence, even in a concert, there is a moment, very quick moment, where I am remembering what I was singing, like which raga it was. It's that broken, it's that fresh a start. And it comes. It's not that I'm forgotten, but it's a moment. I'm familiar with that space where something has been achieved when I have ventured into a space where it is one-way traffic and there's no way out, and then there's nothing. It's like entering into space, and suddenly you say, "Oh, what happened? Where am I?" And then you're back, but it's again the story is different, but it's the same raga. You continue. But something has happened.
Right.
And but that's. Thank you for sharing Beethoven's sonata. What about Max Bruch? Tell me about him. What do you think of him? And why have you liked his work? And of course, one is to do. Work because one has to do. You teach and you perform. It's like, but I know that you have a closer affinity also with his work. Versus you've shared Beethoven's. You've shared about Bach, about Vivaldi, about Bach's idea about the entire Europe, from Italy, from Germany, from France to England, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
What do you see in Max Bruch?
Because I'm cosmopolite. That's for sure. Because I go in many worlds. I should say many countries. So many worlds, and it's very, very interesting always. And so from Bach, I say the structure from Bach is a beginning, I should say, of the real great music for us. But after you have also different way of thinking music, and we were talking about. But like Vivaldi with before, even the Baroque system with Baroque period with Italians, with Spanish, with many new ideas. And after this classical period with Beethoven, with Schubert, before with Haydn, with Mozart, and coming, you can find different thoughts, and like romanticism. Romanticism is very important. With maybe first is Mozart, but beginning of romanticism, but after Chopin, Liszt, Brahms, Schumann, and after you have post-romanticism. Post-romanticism is maybe when it's too, it's like much more than everything. You have to go a little too far to be romantic. And for example, Max Bruch is one of them. So romantic, so I played also Ernest Bloch. It's always like this something very romantic, post-romantism. So I like this Kol Nidrai from Max Bruch. I recorded it, in fact, exactly, yes, in Bulgaria last month. And that's why at this time I like to play this music. Voice, you have to sing like this.
It's very intense, very deep.
Very deep, yes.
It's like very tightly clinging.
Technically, it's different because you need more vibrato, you need little more pressure on your bow, a little more, never too much. And so it's different to play. It's a different velocity for the bow. It's another sound, another color.
I see. And to Gabriel Fauré, when you go...
Fauré, yeah, Gabriel Fauré.
Yeah.
These great French composers, Debussy, Ravel, before Gabriel Fauré. We have an elegy from Gabriel Fauré. I can play, yes, if you want. Okay.
Oh, can you? Yeah, that would be fantastic, yeah. And before you play, tell us about him. Yeah.
Gabriel Fauré was a huge personality, French personality, director of the Conservatoire in the beginning of 20th century, and he invented especially chamber music and some color, a French color. Because also French style is quite special. It's music with lightness, I should say, in the tonalities, the timbre. And Gabriel Fauré was one of the most, like Camille Saint-Saëns, Fauré, very important French musicians. So this piece is he wrote it for cello and orchestra. Then he wrote for cello and piano, but I can play just the cello, I'm sorry. But it's a very known piece for cello. etc.
Again, I see a lot of movement with the little.
Yes, this music needs vibrato, needs yes.
And but before in the earlier era when the romantic the post,
yes.
It was more straight. We see more straight notes. That movement, the tremble is not there as much, is it?
It depends. For example, for Bach, you don't need so much vibrato. It depends. Yes.
So you don't see it much as such. In terms of ornaments, talking of these, if we may just pause here for a moment. In terms of ornaments, like you showed the breadth, the long, we call it the sooth, like a thread. It has to be one thickness, straight, one length, and so on and so forth. We talked of what are the, how do you work on, when you teach, how do you help people work on different elements or ornaments like vibrato and others on the cello? Can you tell us the kind of ornaments that there are and how do you, make people, students, learn and practice them?
Yeah, first of all, you need to be well seated. Well seated, and the cello is like this, and you have to be here. The neck is important to be soft, not blocked. This is very important, and here also to be free. We need to be in good health, just to move easily, not to be not good. So this is important. And relaxed. And after you have to go to your cello, like if you like this, you see. You go and you take the cello, it's good. It's nice. Like this. And you never forget to breathe when you do that, because sometimes we can forget, just to breathe. And after, we need to understand the weight. The weight, you understand? Yes, good word. And the weight of your arm.
Yeah.
How heavy. This is, and you will, when we put the bow on the string, you will do the same on the bow. So I go here and very naturally my arm is on the bow. That's it. This is natural. And okay, this is, the position on the bow is natural. It's not like this, it's not like this, it's, no, it's just natural. Your hand is natural. You put, and after the thumb, here, naturally. The thumb, not like this, not like this, just natural. And after, you can feel your arm, your shoulder, all coming just naturally. If you're like this, it's not good, because the sound will go here. Just, if you're like this, it's not good, because the sound will go up. You have to go naturally to this way, to the bow and to the string. Just here. And it's the same for... We need to go just naturally to the cello.
Right, well, that's fantastic. Then?
After, when you have the good position, you can imagine different, but first you need to go classic. After, you will breathe with your vibrato. With vibrato which doesn't stop between the notes, not this. You see, my vibrato doesn't never stop. It's very difficult for when you learn. You cannot understand. You're many years after. Because the vibrato in the voice is always the same. So we cannot just vibrate one note and not second and third and not the fourth. This is a big problem in the music. As you said, you know, many people want to be musicians, but they don't know about. Many people want to make instruments, but they don't know about. You have to learn these important first things, and after, sometimes you will become a musician.
Yeah.
It's important, yes.
And what are the other ornaments on cello that you play, and how do you practice them? Can you just share some of the regimens that you would do to work on different ornaments?
Difficult to to be like in the Baroque system. You have many ornaments. It's different. It depends how it is written. You can ask just mordant, double mordant, tri par le haut. So it's the same note but different meaning. You know about, because this is in Punjab you have really these words, you know. What is so little difference, you can say something different, really different.
And about slides, do you practice as such? How do you?
Rostropovich, my teacher, said one thing important. When you have a difficult, slide, how to go here exactly to the good note, because we don't have like guitar, we don't have this like guitar. We don't have a piano with notes. You just have to. But he said you have to think to the notes. You have to sing it in your head, and you go. I want it, I go. So it's not my finger, it's my want, I want it. It's not only a technical finger, it's I hear it, so I will go.
Show us some of the slides that you would do. Play some slides for us, yeah. Fantastic. So, what was this piece? What was this? Just improvisation, or is this from something?
Like raga, or like improvisation. No, it's what's the name? I don't remember. I don't remember. It's song. Yes, Jewish song.
Jewish. It's a Jewish song. I see. Okay. And I see that the slides are ascendant, like so but are there descendant slides as well? The ones that no. Are they used also? Are the old composers that they use?
Not so much, because it's difficult. Yeah, it's better to go up. It can be like this, like in French music with Ravel. He used sometimes this style. Sometimes yes, but most of time it's going to
ascendant
high.
Only, going high.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So, thank you so much. I mean, we've been conversing for over 2 hours now, 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Would you like to share something? Can you play something for us?
I don't know, but I thank you for the, just to talk about music, about art, and it's very interesting. I can remember what we did, what we played in New Delhi, in Paris, and here in Swaziland. It's a very nice time with you, Baldeep, and I know you make many things for art, and bravo, it's very important.
Thank you. Important. I appreciate that. Yeah.
So, I composed a little for you today on your name. I can just finish with one of minstrel song, maybe minstrel song from Glazunov. Just like
sure, that'll be fantastic. Yeah.
And thank you.
No,
maybe
pleasure.
This is the end of this interview. So I say bye-bye and thank you.
No, we'll say bye-byes afterwards.
Okay.
Fantastic. Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you.
When is this from?
Glazunov, this is from Russia. We didn't speak about Russia. We spoke about many countries, not Russia.
Let's talk about Russia. No problems. Who were like Rostropovich, but who were the greatest Russian composers from the times? Was cello music for cello written at the same time as Bach and Vivaldi's and others, or was it later in Russia?
The Bach from Russia is Glinka. Glinka is a great composer from Russia. Then after, you have many ones, especially in the Soviet time with Prokofiev and Shostakovich, for sure. But you have Tchaikovsky during before the 19th century. Russia is so great for music, for classical music. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's and we had the first cellist of the school. The school, Russian school, was began with a French cellist. What was his name? Abat, I think. I don't remember exactly. He was French, and he went to St. Petersburg, and he made this. Now we call it Russian school, but first was French. Abat, I think. So.
I see. Oh. Which year was that? Which century was it?
Beginning of 19th century.
I see.
No, not the beginning. Wait. Yes, maybe yes. No, I should. I don't remember exactly.
Doesn't matter. Not important.
But I wrote about a long time ago. I wrote about him, so I should remember.
I see. It's okay. Well, I got a few white hair, and so have you. Although you have yet to grow your beard, I have a white beard.
Oh.
Is there? Do you remember something which is the oldest around the oldest Russian music for cello?
No, but you have also Rachmaninov. Many.
Rachmaninov, yes, it was very big. Yeah.
Vocalise.
Fantastic.
But you have also Tchaikovsky.
Wow. I see. And the first one that you played, Rachmaninov, was the beauty. I think something that I'm reminded of is that although there are 4 strings, but it has to be one voice. And when you moved from one string to the other, it was the same voice. I think that was a very, very important point. If you can demonstrate that, I would want, now that I've shared, many listeners would understand that what I was saying, that it has to be the same note, the touch, and it's very difficult. The handicap is very high. There's strings with different thicknesses. There are different place, and the bow has to change. It's one way to the other. This is a marvel. This is a spectacle. You all need to have a look. If you can kindly demonstrate that piece,
Because we have four strings, which is C, G, D, and A. But this is why, because we need a low string, which is Do, which is very low. And after you have to go in the highness, so I have to go. Alors, but it has to be only one
voice.
One scale. So if you,
and especially the Rachmaninoff piece, if you can just repeat, there was a moment when you jumped from one string to the other. That was brilliant.
Maybe we'll make. I don't know where. But for example, when I play Bach, the third Preludium, this is especially because this is a scale from C major. You see, I play on the four strings, but
it's one voice. It's one voice.
It's only one.
Yeah.
That's true. I was practicing this with André Navarra, my teacher in Paris Conservatoire. I had great teachers in France. André Navarra, great cellist, Philippe Muller, Marcel, Bardon, my first professor, teacher, and always they were talking about this. Only one sound between the strings. You have to know, and this, my arm goes like this. Not 1, 2, 3, not 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It goes. No.
I'm reminded of a funny story. There's a very big Indian pop star. He was famous for some Sufi music as well. I don't want to glorify his name, but he had a very love-hate relationship with me, because he just couldn't stand my scold sometimes, or it was a testing relationship for him. He became suddenly very famous, right? One song became a big hit, became a bestseller, and so on and so forth, and it went straight into his head. So one day he came, then just to defy me, started learning vocals from somebody in Mumbai. And he came, must have learned a couple of tricks from here and there, and he came testing me as if he needed to test me. He says, "Oh, maestro," as Guru Dev he would call me, "Maestro, tell me, what is the first lesson that you give to a singer?" I said, "That's a very interesting question. Where did you learn to ask this question? Because you've never asked me this question before." So I teased him back. He didn't understand my tease. He said, No, you're not wanting to tell me. You're trying to keep the secret to you. What is the first lesson that you teach? I said, well, you need to show me your voice. And once you show me your voice, I will tell you the first lesson to that voice, not to you. So he still did not get it. He says, what are you talking? I said, okay, can you say the 7 notes? So he started, he said, sa, then I said, re, he says, re, and then from sa, re, then lo, mo, like he went changing his voice. And he was already a famous star. And then I said, well, I heard 8 different people. Are you there, Dominique? I think I've lost the connection, or what? I think there is a connection loss. Let me try and redial. Dominique, can you hear me? It says there is a poor connection. Let me just redial him. Or maybe I hope his phone is not gone very hot or something. And some of you are saying that you know that whom I'm talking about. I don't know. I've got many students who are big stars, not just one. You'll be surprised, but I don't publicize it because I don't want to be now the maestro of pop singers. Everybody starts knocking on my door. I can't. I am busy with the conservation work, so I usually keep it off, record.
Trying to reach
in a way.
is currently unavailable. Please leave a message after the beep.
Dial again. Okay, just let me pause it again and redial Dominique. Must be something to do with his phone. Maybe the battery's died or something. So some of you were saying that you know who it is. So I don't. It's not important who it is. It's the thing, because it's not about naming or shaming or scolding or teasing, because the secret or the key is in the story. It's not about the one who is being spoken about. It is about what is being spoken about. So
is currently unavailable.
I think,
please leave a message after the beep.
Wrong with Dominique's connection. I'm going to try again. Okay, I'm getting his. Well, here we are.
Yes,
Dominique,
sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. So, can you? Your battery. Oh, you didn't put the wire on before? I'd asked you to put the wire. It's okay. Is it? Yeah. We'll just take a few minutes now to end the conversation.
Yeah. It's okay. We spoke a lot.
Yeah.
Played and.
Yeah. So let me get you on the screen. Just like this, we'll just end in 2-3 minutes, okay? And I was just telling you the story that about the student. So he actually ended up singing the note, in 8 different voices. So I said, can you first tell me which one is you? I saw 8 yous. I saw 8 of you, 8 people in you. You tell me which one is you, and I will tell you the first lesson that you will get from there. He got angry. He didn't get it. And I told him that you have no idea about the value of the lesson that what I told you just now. Then I told him, I demonstrated, it says, Re ga ma pa re ni sa. That's one voice. So but with the voice, it's easy to, not easy technically, because each note can be a different voice. The 8 limbs, of talu, the upper palate, the tongue, the denti, the oshti, the lips, the mordhani, the complete face, the left nasal, right nasal, and the communion of both the ida, pingla, shushmana, the nasika, nasika. These are the 8 limbs. They have to be in perfect order. There's a whole system in the yoga of sound. There's some quacks now running around as if they are the people who are the master, of masters of voice culture. They've never studied themselves, and they're very poor demonstrations of singing themselves. But people become famous. Suddenly they have institutions and enterprises, and that somehow is like a visa to pretend as if they are great masters. But even with voice, it is very difficult to attain one voice. And with instruments, when you have 4 different strings, 4 different thicknesses, and 4 different materials at times, and to be able to reach that one voice, to discover that one voice and not 2 or 3 or many, is an achievement. And really, I have always admired your playing, although I admire Rostropovich a little more, Pablo Casals a little more.
Yes. Because you have to hear. You have to hear what you want. If you hear in your head, in your ear, in your head, it would be easier to do it with technique.
Yeah. Well, Dominique, yes, I know. Thank you so much, and thank Gulbet for me and your children. Love to the grandchildren. Is she there? Hey,
She was working at his sculpture.
I know. I have to come and I was making this video with me, Dominique, and I carried your sculpture on the bridge in Paris. We were like I was holding and carrying it on the bridge and keeping in the freezing night. We were shooting, and one of my very dear friends, who's a filmmaker, Navjot Hansra, she came and she helped with the cameras. We did, but I'm yet to even finish it. maybe I should do it, and we should publish it. But hopefully, when when it's possible to travel again, I'm caught in Rome. Maybe if I cannot go back to India, maybe I'll come to Paris, and then we'll get to shoot something together. And lovely. Thank you for allowing Dominique and I to waste a couple of hours. But I know that how you hate him so much. You would have been happy. He's taken care of. He's being kept away from you.
Okay, Valji.
All right. Lots of love to you guys, and my blessings and love to the grandchildren. Yes. Hugs to you. Bye bye. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Thank you. Bye. So, friends, this is my very dear friends actually, not one but two. Gilbert, who's a top sculptor from France, and Dominique de Williencourt, as you heard. It doesn't need any introduction, is it? He's among the best that there is in terms of cello and music, and what a fantastic composer. His command, of the instrument, how he knows the play. He knows the instrument A to Z, and that has been my fight back in India. People, learn your instrument, know your place. Every single spot on the instrument should be known to you. Don't try to flex your muscles when you don't have any. Don't try to dance when you don't know how to catwalk, and so on and so forth. Anyway, I'm so glad that I could have this conversation and share this moment with you all. I have a very, very special elder, a grand elder of world music, especially the Indian classical music, and he is very dear to me. He's like a family elder to me. He was very close to my cousin as well, a very elder cousin, Sardar Baldeep Singh Kalsi, who was with the All India Radio, who was the producer, and they were very close. And he is, I don't have to, many of you know him, many of you know his father, the legendary, Krishna Rao Pandit, and his grandfather, another legend, stalwart, Pandit Shankar Pandit and Shankar Rao Pandit. So he is like a pillar, like one of the pillars of Indian classical music. He knows the narrative of Indian classical music, the advent of modern Indian music or South Asian music. We have to call it South Asia because since 1947, what was India is split into three countries: Bangladesh, India, and Pakistan. And every single raga tala is shared by these three countries. So if you say Indian classical music is again misleading, because now it is no longer Indian classical music, because it's one music which is of course practiced in three countries now, which are split very unfortunately, a split which I continue to not recognize. But what to do? It's a political reality since the last 7+ decades, and he is very, very special for me personally, and I'm really looking forward to have this conversation with him tomorrow. And again, my focus will be on pedagogy in terms of repertoire, in terms of compositional structures, the architecture, improvisation. I'll get to speak to him about Tappa, one of the exports of Fagwara, Kapurthala, where I come from. I come from Kapurthala, but of course, Shauri Mian is from there. He stayed, of course, he traveled widely as great musicians at the time. They stayed for many, many years here and there, but he was from there. And his legacy, his understanding of music, he has taught for decades. Sadly, his son had we lost him, but his daughter is one of the very, very important figures now. She's counted among the seniors already, Vidushi Meeta Pandit. And I will, be talking tomorrow only to him, and separately with my very dear friend Vidushi Meeta Pandit. Maybe in a week or two, because there's a separate story I want to talk to her about, how she sees an extraordinary legacy that she's not a torchbearer after her father, of course, who's still amongst us, with us, but she is the future. She is the story bearer now. She's the narrative bearer. She's the storyteller now to be, and she's performed so widely now, and she's respected. So, of course, I'll be, instead of having them both together, I will sort of be in conversation with my grand elder, Pandit Lakshman Rao Krishna Rao Pandit, tomorrow. And of course, with Meeta, whenever her itinerary, she's of course very busy, active on social media teaching. So we will plan something with Meeta at a later date. But tomorrow, kindly join us. The time is an hour earlier. Instead of 7:30, we will meet at 6:30 tomorrow. I will share with you again the poster, and I'll share that in Punjabi as well. दोस्तों, कल साडे वतन दे बहुत ही वड्डे विद्वान, साडे वतन दे रत्न हनगे, बहुत ही वड्डी जड़ी एक परंपरा है ਉਹਦੇ मुखी हनगे, जड़ा ग्वालियर घराना हैगा, और ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਦਾਦਾ ਸਨ पंडित शंकर राव पंडित, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ पिता जी पंडित कृष्ण राव पंडित, और आप पंडित लक्ष्मण राव कृष्ण राव पंडित, ਇਹ ਵੱਡੀਆਂ ਬਜ਼ੁਰਗੀਆਂ ਹਨਗੀਆਂ। ਇਹ ਬਜ਼ੁਰਗਵਾਰ ਹਨਗੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ, ਸਾਡੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਦਰਮਿਆਨ ਦੇ। ਮੈਂ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਅਗਲੇ ਦਿਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੈਂ ਪੰਡਿਤ ਬੱਤੂ ਹੋਣਾ ਨਾਲ ਮੈਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਚੁੱਕਿਆ, ਪੰਡਿਤ ਯਸ਼ਪਾਲ ਜੀ ਨਾਲ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ, ਹੋਰ ਵਿਦਵਾਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਡੋਇਨਸ ਨੇ ਵੱਖਰੀਆਂ ਵੱਖਰੀਆਂ ਪਰੰਪਰਾਵਾਂ ਦੇ, ਭਾਵੇਂ ਸ਼ਾਮ 84 ਘਰਾਣੇ ਦੇ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਪੰਡਿਤ ਬੱਤੂ ਜੀ ਹਨਗੇ, ਜਾਂ ਆਗਰੇ ਘਰਾਣੇ ਦੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਵਡੇਰੇ ਹਨਗੇ ਪੰਡਿਤ ਯਸ਼ਪਾਲ ਹੋਣੀ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਆਪਾਂ ਵਾਰੀ-ਵਾਰੀ ਰੂਬਰੂ ਹੋਵਾਂਗੇ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਆਪਾਂ ਯਾਨੀ ਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਗੋਦ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੈਠਾਂਗੇ। ਸੋ ਇਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਸੁਭਾਗ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਉਸਤਾਦ ਨਸੀਰੁੱਦੀਨ ਸਾਮੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਬੈਠੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਗੋਦ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹਿ ਕੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਬਹਿ ਕੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਸਮਝਿਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਪਰੰਪਰਾ ਕੀ ਹੈ। ਪੰਡਿਤ ਲਕਸ਼ਮਣ ਰਾਓ ਕ੍ਰਿਸ਼ਨ ਰਾਓ ਪੰਡਿਤ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਕੱਲ ਆਪਾਂ 6:30 ਵਜੇ ਮਿਲਾਂਗੇ ਜੀ, 1 ਘੰਟਾ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ, ਯਾਨੀ ਕਿ ਇਟਲੀ ਦਾ 3 ਵਜੇ ਹੋਏਗਾ ਦੁਪਹਿਰ ਦਾ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਪੰਡਿਤ ਜੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਕਹੀਏ ਆਈਟਨਰੀਜ਼ ਹਨਗੀਆਂ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਉਮਰ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਤਕਾਜ਼ਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਬਿਰਧ ਅਵਸਥਾ 'ਚ ਹਨਗੇ, ਅਤੇ 1934 ਦੇ ਜਨਮੇ ਹਨਗੇ। ਮੇਰੇ ਪਿਤਾ ਜੀ ਤੋਂ 3 ਸਾਲ ਛੋਟੇ ਹਨਗੇ। ਮੇਰੇ ਪਿਤਾ ਜੀ ਸਰਦਾਰ ਅਮਰਜੀਤ ਵਾਸ ਬੋਰਨ ਇਨ 1931। ਸੋ ਮੇਰੇ ਚਾਚਾ ਸਥਾਨ ਹਨਗੇ, ਅਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ 1 ਘੰਟਾ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਮਿਲਾਂਗੇ। ਔਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਇੰਨੀ ਗਾਥਾ ਹੈ, ਇੰਨੀ ਬਾਤ ਹੈ ਦੱਸਣ ਦੀ, ਸਾਡੇ ਵਤਨ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸੰਗੀਤਕ ਤਵਾਰੀਖ ਹੈ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਜਾਣੂ ਕਰਾਉਣ ਦੀ, ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਈ ਦਿਨ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਬੈਠੇ ਰਹੀਏ ਨਾ, ਅਤੇ ਉਹ ਕਹਾਣੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੀ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੋਏਗੀ। ਉਹ ਇੰਨੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਯਾਦ ਹੈ। ਅਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਿਖਿਆਰਥੀ ਹਨਗੇ, ਮੈਂ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰੇਰਾਂਗਾ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਸਮਾਂ ਹੋਵੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਸੰਪਰਕ ਕਰੋ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਬੈਠਿਆ ਕਰੋ, ਭਾਵੇਂ ਵਰਚੁਅਲੀ ਬੈਠੋ, ਸਕਾਈਪ ਰਾਹੀਂ, ਜ਼ੂਮ ਰਾਹੀਂ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੀ ਮਾਧਿਅਮ ਹਨਗੇ ਵਰਚੁਅਲੀ ਕਨੈਕਟ ਕਰਨ ਦੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ ਕਰੋ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਕੁਛ ਲਓ, ਸਿੱਖਿਆ ਲਓ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲੋਂ। ਇਹ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੀਆਂ ਬਜ਼ੁਰਗੀਆਂ ਹਨਗੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਮੈਂ ਜਾਣੂ ਕਰਾਵਾਂਗਾ। ਸੋ ਕੱਲ ਆਪਾਂ 6:30 ਵਜੇ ਮਿਲਾਂਗੇ ਦੋਸਤੋ। 3 ਵਜੇ ਇਟਲੀ ਦਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਹੋਏਗਾ, 2 ਵਜੇ ਹੋਣਗੇ ਬਰਤਾਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਔਰ ਉਸੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ 9 ਵਜੇ ਹੋਣਗੇ ਨਿਊਯਾਰਕ, ਅਤੇ 6 ਵਜੇ ਹੋਣਗੇ ਵੈਸਟ ਕੋਸਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਅਤੇ ਕੱਲ ਤੱਕ ਲਈ ਮੈਂ ਇਜਾਜ਼ਤ ਲੈਂਦਾ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਆਸ ਹੈ ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਬੈਠਕ ਸੀ, 24ਵੀਂ ਬੈਠਕ ਸੀ, ਇਹ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੁਝ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਹੋਏਗਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਸਿੱਖੇ ਹੋਵੋਗੇ, ਕੁਝ ਆਨੰਦ ਮਾਣਿਆ ਹੋਏਗਾ, ਕੁਝ ਫਖਰ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੋਏਗਾ ਕਿ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੇ ਊਂਧਾ ਵਿਦਵਾਨ ਵਜੰਤਰੀ ਡੋਮਿਨਿਕ ਡੀ ਵਿਲੀਐਨਕੂਰ ਵਰਗੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਕਾਲਰਸ ਹਨਗੇ, ਚਿੰਤਕ ਹਨਗੇ, ਫਿਲਾਸਫਰਸ ਹਨਗੇ, ਕੰਪੋਜ਼ਰਸ ਹਨਗੇ, ਉਹ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਇੰਤਜ਼ਾਮਾਤ ਲਈ ਬੈਠੇ ਨੇ। ਇੱਕ ਸੁਰ ਛੋਹਣ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ, ਇੱਕ ਸਾਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਛੋਹਣ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ, ਇੱਕ ਮੁਦਰਾ 'ਚ ਬੈਠਣ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਇੰਤਜ਼ਾਮ ਉਹਦੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਹੈ, ਕਿੰਨਾ ਪਰਸਪੈਕਟਿਵ, ਕੀ ਕੁਝ ਪਾਇਆ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਜਿਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ 'ਚ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੁਝ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਲੈ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਬੜੀ ਦੂਰ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ, ਪਰ ਉਹ ਵਿਦਵਾਨ ਨੇ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਖੱਟ ਪਾਈ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਕੀ ਖੱਟਿਆ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਦੇਣ ਜੋਗਾ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ, ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਪਰਖਦੇ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ। ਅਸੀਂ ਜੋ ਆਇਆ ਸੋ ਚਲਸੀ ਵਾਲਾ ਕੰਮ ਹੈ, ਜੋ ਆਇਆ ਵੀ ਡੋਂਟ ਲੁੱਕ, ਅਸੀਂ ਭੇਖ ਤੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਮੰਨ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ, पर महाराज गाउंदे नहीं घर में ठार गवां घर में ठाकुर न देरना आवे ठाकुर न देरना घर में ठाकुर न देरना आवे। ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਭੇਖ ਦਿਖਾਵੇ ਸੱਚ ਨਾ ਕਮਾਵੇ। ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਭੇਖ ਦਿਖਾਉਂਦਾ ਪਰ ਸੱਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਮਾਉਂਦਾ। ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਹਰ ਕੋਈ ਲੀੜੇ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਆ ਜਾਣ 2-4 ਚੰਗੇ ਲੀੜੇ ਸਵਾ ਲੈਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਬੜੇ ਮੁਕਤ ਹੀਰੇ ਜਵਾਹਰਾਤ ਵੀ ਬੰਦਾ ਪਾ ਪੂ ਲੈਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਪਰ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਵਿਦਵਾਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ। ਭੇਖ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਵਿਦਵਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਦੋਸਤੋ। ਆਪਣੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਨੇਮ ਪਲੇਟ ਲਾ ਲੈਣਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਪੰਡਤ ਹਾਂ ਜਾਂ ਉਸਤਾਦ ਹਾਂ ਜਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਭਾਈ ਹਾਂ ਜਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸਰ ਹਾਂ ਜਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਲੈਕਚਰਾਰ ਹਾਂ ਜਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਡੀਲਿਟ ਹਾਂ DSc ਹਾਂ, ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸੰਗੀਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦਾ। ਮੇਰੇ ਦਾਦਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਆਲਾ ਬੰਦੇ ਰਹੀਮੁਦੀਨ ਖਾਂ ਕਿ ਮੀਆਂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਮੇਰੇ ਬਾਬਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੂੰ ਫਹੀਮ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸਨ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਅਧੀਨ ਮੇਰੀ ਰਿਆਜ਼ਤ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ। ਉਹ ਡਾਗਰ ਬਾਣੀ ਗਾਉਂਦੇ ਸਨ ਅਤੇ ਪਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਤਵਾਰੀਖ ਸਾਰੀ ਬਾਣੀਆਂ ਦੀ ਸੀ। ਇਹ ਮਿਸਲੀਡਿੰਗ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਖੰਡਾਰ ਬਾਣੀ ਵਾਲੇ ਕੋਲ ਜਾਓ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਯਾਦ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਹੋਰਾਂ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਯਾਦ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਸਾਰੇ ਬੜਾ ਇਕਲੈਕਟਿਕ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ, ਇੱਕੋ ਮੱਤ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ। ਘਰਾਣੇ ਘਰੂਣੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਲੇਟਰ ਕਨਸਟਰਕਟ ਹੈਗਾ। ਅਤੇ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਮੀਆਂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਉਸਤਾਦ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਕਿ बेटा संगीत बोलने की चीज़ नहीं है, संगीत गाने की चीज़ है, गाना गाने की चीज़ है, बोलने की चीज़ नहीं है। सो बातों से कुछ नहीं होता। सो ये कहते होंगे सन। आई थिंक ਇਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹੀ ਫੋਕੀਆਂ ਲਿਫਾਫੇਬਾਜ਼ੀਆਂ ਨਾ ਕਰਿਆ ਕਰੀਏ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਬਹੁਤ ਪਰੇ ਤੋਂ ਪਰੇ ਪਈ ਹੈ। ਇੱਜ਼ਤ ਕਮਾਉਣੀ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੇ ਵੇਸ ਪਾਇਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਸਤਾਦਾਂ ਦਾ, ਦੂਜੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗੈਰ ਸਿੱਖ ਅੱਖ ਹੈ, ਗੈਰ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਅੱਖ ਹੈ, ਗੈਰ ਹਿੰਦੁਸਤਾਨੀ ਅੱਖ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਹੱਸਦੀ ਹੈ, ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਕੰਗਾਲੀ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਹੱਸਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪ੍ਰੀਟੈਂਡ ਤਾਂ ਬੜਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ ਪਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਪੱਲੇ ਕੱਖ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਖੋਖਲੇ ਹੋ, ਖਾਲੀ ਲਿਫਾਫੇ ਹੋ। ਸੋ ਇਹ ਕਮਾਈਆਂ ਕਰਨੀਆਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਦੂਰ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਇਹਦੇ ਲਈ ਵੱਡੇ ਵਡੇਰਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਸੰਗਤ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ, ਵਿਦਵਾਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਸੰਗਤ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ। ਅਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਆਸ ਹੈ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੀ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਬਜ਼ੁਰਗੀ ਪੰਡਿਤ ਲਕਸ਼ਮਣ ਰਾਓ ਕ੍ਰਿਸ਼ਨਾ ਪੰਡਿਤ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਆਪਾਂ ਬੈਠੀਏ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਗੋਦ 'ਚ ਬਹਿ ਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਸਮਝਾਂਗੇ ਕਿ ਗਵਾਲੀਅਰ ਘਰਾਣਾ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਉਪਜਿਆ, ਕਿਵੇਂ ਬਣਿਆ, ਉੱਥੇ ਕੀ ਕੀ ਕਾਢਾਂ ਕੱਢੀਆਂ ਗਈਆਂ, ਕਿਸ ਕਿਸ ਕਿਸਮ ਦੀਆਂ ਬੰਦਿਸ਼ਾਂ ਬਣੀਆਂ, ਕਿਸ ਕਿਸ ਕਿਸਮ ਦੀ ਸਿਖਲਾਈ ਦੀ ਵਿਧੀ ਹੈ ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਕਦੇ ਕਲਿਆਣ ਰਾਗ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਏ ਨਾ, ਉਹ ਸੈਂਕੜੇ ਤੋਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਲਿਆਣ ਦੀਆਂ ਬੰਦਿਸ਼ਾਂ ਹੀ ਯਾਦ ਨੇ। ਉਹ ਇੰਨੇ ਵੱਖਰੇ ਕਿਸਮ ਦੀਆਂ ਬੰਦਿਸ਼ਾਂ ਹਨਗੀਆਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ 'ਚ ਕੰਸਟਰਕਟ। ਤੋਂ ਇਹ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ 'ਚ ਇੱਕ ਜ਼ਮਾਨਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਦੋਸਤੋ। ਸੋ ਇਹ ਮੈਂ ਆਸ ਕਰਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਖੁਸ਼ ਹੋਵੋਗੇ, ਠੀਕ ਹੋਵੋਗੇ, ਔਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ 6:30 ਵਜੇ ਮਿਲਾਂਗੇ। ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਤੋਂ ਆਗਿਆ ਲੈਣਾ। ਅਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮੈਂ ਸੱਚ ਮੈਂ ਦੱਸਣਾ ਭੁੱਲ ਗਿਆ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ 'ਚ ਫਿਰ ਆਉਣਾ। There was a technical glitch. I had sent the link. I know many of you would have received the link, but then I'm working alone. I forgot to attach the hard drive. So the moment I went live, it said, sorry, oops, the recording is not being made. So I had to, do the tough thing. I had to stop the broadcast and then restart it. So I know you would have received the link. Many of you would have not been able to connect because that link would have expired, or they would have said that the live transmission is ended. And then many of you, of course, who know the page, but others who do not, kindly subscribe to the page, like or follow the page, and subscribe with me on my YouTube channel, Bhai Baldeep Singh, so that any updates and so on and so forth, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Twitter, so that you are able to get the updates and so on and so forth, and notifications as well for the time, duration of this pandemic and so on and so forth. I don't usually post things, I don't forward things, so it's only if there is something happening fresh which is generated by my page is what is shared. So I hope that you're able to do that. My apologies for the technical glitch. It was inevitable because it was a precious moment as well which I had to record, and I had to end and restart the broadcast. मैं दस रहा सी दोस्तों कि मैं माफ़ी चाहना कि शुरू ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਰਿਕਾਰਡਿੰਗ ਰੋਕਣੀ ਪਈ ਸੀ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬ੍ਰੌਡਕਾਸਟ ਰੋਕਣਾ ਪਿਆ ਸੀ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹ ਮੈਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਤਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਪ੍ਰੈਸ ਕਰਤਾ ਬਟਨ, ਉਦੋਂ ਉਹਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ सॉफ्टवेयर ने कहा भी रिकॉर्डिंग नहीं हो रही, तू बई की कीता है तू जिनके चैक्स बिफोर टेक ऑफ फ्लाइंग कहने होने चैक्स बिफोर टेक ऑफ करना भुल गया मैं, जुबानी इसे करके नहीं रखी दा वो लिखना। मैं हूँ बनावांगा टेक्निकल राइटर भी, 2 बार हो गया है 2-3 बार कि वो मैंने रोक के चलाना पिया, तुहानू अख्याई हुई, कईयां नू मौका नहीं मिलिया होगा। मैं एक बार लिंक जिहड़ा फाइनल रिकॉर्डिंग जिहड़ी हुई है उस तो बाद मैं लिंक सारिਆਂ ਨੂੰ भेज दियांगा, मेरे लिए एक्स्ट्रा एक्सरसाइज होएगी, तुहानू तकलीफ हुई मैं ਉਹਦੇ ਲਈ माफ़ी चाहना कि वो रिकॉर्डिंग होनी बड़ी जरूरी सी। अगे 2 मरतबा इदां ही होया कि जो मैं सोचा कि मैं हार्ड ड्राइव लगाती है तो आपे शुरू हो जू, नहीं वो एक बार जो शुरू च नहीं मिलिया सोर्स ਉਹਨੂੰ तो वो रिकॉर्ड नहीं करता, वो फिर सिर्फ फेसबुक तो ही मैनू डाउनलोड करना पिया। खास करके सरदूल सिकंदर होना की जी रिकॉर्डिंग से वो हाई क्वालिटी मेरे को है नहीं कि हुण 1K ही हैगा, 4K नहीं हैगी। बट खैर एनी वे वॉट टू डू, कई बार ये ग्लिचेस आते हैं टैक्नोलॉजी का, असी उन्ना की उत्ते निर्भर कर सकते होंगे हैं। सो अज मैनू आस है तुसी आनंद माणिया होएगा। मैं इहदा जिहड़ा लिंक हैगा नवीं जिहड़ी ब्रॉडकास्ट दा वो मैं तुहानू सारिਆਂ ਨੂੰ मेलिंग लिस्ट मैं भेज देंगा, तो तुहानू वो तुसी जे मिस कर गए हो तुसी ओहदा लाहा खट सकते हो। तो तुसी अपने कॉमेंट्स लिखने, अपनी शिरकत पाउणी, शेयर करना ना भुल्लिओ, शेयर कर दिओ तो होरां ताईं पहुँचदा है। मैनूं लगदा है इन्ने वड्डे विद्वानां दी जिहड़ी वार्ता उन्हां दी जिहड़ी कथनी है, उन्हां दे जिहड़े सोचो फिक्र है, उन्हां दा जिहड़ा सांझ कीती हुई गलबात है, उन्हां दी सांझी जिहड़ी कीती हुई ਉਹ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਵੰਡਣੀ ਬੜੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਅਹਿਮੀਅਤ ਰੱਖਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਵੰਡੀਏ, ਇਹ ਲਾਜ਼ਮੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਵੰਡੀਏ, ਸਾਡੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਮੇਵਾਰੀ, ਸਾਡਾ ਫਰਜ਼ ਬਣਦਾ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਦੋਸਤੋ ਜੀ ਹਾਂ ਹੋਮੇਜੀਤ ਜੀ देयर इज़ ए ਮੇਲਿੰਗ ਲਿਸਟ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਨੰਬਰ ਜੇ ਭੇਜਣੇ ਨੇ WhatsApp ਦੇ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਡਾਇਰੈਕਟ ਮੈਸੇਜ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਆਪਣੇ ਨਾਮ ਲਿਖ ਕੇ, ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਉਹ ਬ੍ਰੌਡਕਾਸਟ ਲਿਸਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੌਲੀ ਐਡ ਕਰਦੇ ਰਹਾਂਗਾ। WhatsApp ਤੇ मैं भेज रहा, इट्स टू मच, मैं कल्ला कर रहा सारा काम। सिर्फ मेरे माई नेफ्यू हू इज़ एन आउटस्टैंडिंग वैब डिज़ाइन इज़ एन इंजीनियर, गुरलिव सिंह जिहड़े ग्राफिक्स जिहड़े वो शुरू विच मैं करदा सी, फिर मैं बेसिकली गेव हिम some directives how to do, he's done। My very dear colleague Kamleshwar Singh Batra, who's an animator and a graphics designer, Delhi based, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਡਿਸਕਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਰਨਾ। ਸੋ ਵੀਲ ਡੂ ਅ ਲਿਟਲ ਮੇਕ ਓਵਰ ਆਫ ਹਾਊ all the texts and others are doing. So they are able to help. Gurliv is doing every day now. That's the only help I get. Rest, my very dear sister, my cousin Gagandeep, engineer, who's a top engineer in Chicago area. She works with one of the top automobile companies. She's now started, she's become part of my production team. She's looking at the biographies whenever she has time, editing out so that I can read them out. Sometimes the translations, Google translations and others, they lose certain assets. Of course, there have been other people, some who don't want to be named, who have, contributed in a way to the text and so on and so forth. So it's a whole, I'm grateful for all the support that there is, but once I have the lists and so on and so forth, if you send me your numbers, I'll add them, so that when I send the poster and the links, you will start getting them. I'll try to add them to the broadcast list as soon as I can. So I'll see you tomorrow, and kindly do share, do spread the word of these grand elders that I'm in conversation with. Thank you very much. Sat Kartar, Khuda Hafiz, Alvida te Namaskar, very good night India, Buona serata Italia। ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਖੁਸ਼ੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸੁਖ ਸਾਂਦ ਦੀਆਂ ਅਰਦਾਸਾਂ ਹਰ ਜੀ ਵਿਚਰਨਾ 'ਚ ਮੈਂ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ।